What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Sooners Fanatic, and today we're going to be talking about what the Sooners need to do in order to get a national championship. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Comment, like, and like I said, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Alright, so we are going to be talking about how the Sooner defense can win a national championship, because we know what the offense is. Usually ranked number 1, usually averaging 8+ yards, usually got a talented quarterback, and that's not going to change for a while, as you saw Caleb Williams committed to Oklahoma this 4th of July. If they continue to just be productive at offense, it's going to continue to roll on there, right? As long as we got Lincoln Riley, we're good. The defense is a different story. We saw, terrible defenses with Mike Stoops. Last year it looked better, but still wasn't great. Alex Grinch emphasizes turnovers. He wants 24 per season. He says that accumulates wins, right? So if we want to look back at all the other defenses that won a national championship, points per game wise, LSU this past season is the worst. They were ranked 31st or 33rd. I can't read my own handwriting, but somewhere in the low 30s. Whereas everyone else is like 1, 10, 2. And then there also is the outlier of Ohio State in 2014 being ranked 26th. So point is, as long as you have a great offense, you can get by with having a 30 and below defense, right? Ranked defense, you want 30, 29, somewhere in there, you will be fine. Oklahoma would be fine if they're in that category. Then we look at total defense, and it's kind of the same story. LSU being the worst of the past champions, being ranked 31st in total defense. Everyone else being like 3rd, 1st, 8th, and then, of course, that other outlier, Ohio State, being 19th from 2014. So if you look at these two teams, the two miracle type teams that were ranked 4th, kind of didn't have maybe the best rankings, and that's probably why they were ranked 4th. Well, I guess that's Ohio State, not LSU. LSU was just dominant all season, and we saw that. The big issue here is the turnover gap. So Alex Grinch has his formula. 24 turnovers per season, right? Obviously, that would work out to work with my metric. My metric is you got to at least have 1.5 turnovers per game. Okay, so LSU had 1.5 last season. Clemson had 1.6 the season before. Bama, 1.7 the season before. 1 point with Clemson the year before them. And then Ohio State had 2.2 the year they won the national championship. If you get a 2, you're doing good. You're doing great. The highest was in 2017, Baker's last run of things, when they had 1.3. Other than that, Jalen's run had 0.8 turnovers per game. Kyler Murray's run had 0.8 turnovers per game. You have to be averaging more than 1 turnover per game. Otherwise, it's just not going to look good. And then let's talk about our total defense. Last season, we stepped up. 38th ranked total defense. The years before that, 67 and 67 with Kyler and Baker's last run. Okay, so obviously you got to step that up and get below the 30s. High 30s is doable in my opinion, but you got to step up once you get to the playoffs. You got to be able to stop their offense and score more than them. That's how you win ball games. That's as simple as it is. That's how Oklahoma wins a national championship, is they got to revamp the defense and get turnovers and limit what they can control. They got to stop teams on 3rd down. They had a big problem with that, right? Mike Stoops last year couldn't get off the field whatsoever. I went back and watched a good bit of tape on Baker Mayfield's Heisman campaign, right? And it's like Tulane's hanging around with us. 0-3 Baylor's hanging around with us. We're losing at Iowa State. This is a problem. But we get up for Ohio State. Ohio State, we're going to put the hurt on them. But against teams like, Tulane, they're hanging around with us. We whooped up on TCU, but almost let Oklahoma State beat us, And so that's a problem. And that's why I think Alex Grinch is the answer, is, look, effort, effort, effort. But last year, we saw kind of the same thing, right? Towards the end there, they went on a little streak after having a great start to the season. After Texas, man, they were looking so good. I mean, I thought we had the answer. I thought everything was figured out. And then it just kind of spirals out of control. And eventually, it was to Kansas State. And you're like, okay, this team's going to bounce back in a big way, and it just never happened. Like, we still continue to give up points. We still continue to have to scrape and claw at those games. We got to dominate lesser opponents, right? And obviously get more turnovers. Now, I think this defense is going to be a little bit older this year, and then next year they will continue to be older, and that's probably, I'm saying this now, Oklahoma next year national championship favorites, in my opinion. Next year will be the year, especially if we have football this season, right? And so defense is starting to come together, though. So there is hope for the Sooners, but this is my formula. Below 30 on total defense and at least 1.5 turnovers per game. That's going to be it for me. If you guys like the video, go ahead and do so. Comment your opinions on my my formula for it, what you guys think about that, and then don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.